The last time we invaded the privacy of our staff, entering their homes and rifling through their belongings, it was for the Wall of Shame, showing you guys the 3 worst computers out of everyone who works at Linus Tech Tips. This time around, we're gonna find the 3 best machines out of everybody who works here. Except there is one small challenge. Last time, we took the very worst one and gave them a free upgrade. This time around, this is already the people who have the most ballin' setup, so we had to dig pretty deep to find anything that would be an upgrade. So Intel, our sponsor for today's video, has provided a Core i9-9900K and Asus chipped in one of their Maximus ROG gaming motherboards as well. So let's head into our first contestant here. I can tell you one thing, they definitely have a better gaming rig than a barbecue.
Wow.
I thought it was a propane one, but that's actually
Look down there. We have a natural gas one. It's routed into the house.
That's a Weber.
And there's another one.
I shouldn't
down
be a
there
hater.
too. We have 3.
So our first stop, rather unsurprisingly, is Jake's house. Or rather, I should say, Jake's mom's house, which might explain why Jake has so much budget to spend on his gaming setup. One thing he doesn't apparently have budget for is a soldering iron. Although I gotta say, Jake, I really appreciate you helpfully taking all the things that you've stolen from the office and putting them in one place for me so that I don't have to go digging for them like I did at Dennis's house.
I also stole.
I guarantee you didn't buy this.
I bought it. I paid for this.
I actually was looking for this
This is
yesterday.
like our 3rd soldering iron, and I borrowed it for like 2 days.
Well, I was looking for this one.
What about the floss? Oh, are you flossing right now?
I actually have not seen Jake's setup. There's some unusual things, like for example, this UPS that's definitely from the office.
Yes.
Why do you have so many wireless mice?
I like to switch it up sometimes. That's a G305.
You've got a G Pro wireless. You already have the king of gaming mice.
I like the G305, and then the 403 is just kind of nostalgia, you know?
Let's see if he has all of them plugged in. Okay, this one is indeed actually active. This one is also plugged in. What the hell?
I also have another 403, 2 502s, and I think there's a G900 somewhere.
Ooh!
Oh God, yeah, the cables are kind of short.
So what are you already running? Wow, is this ITX?
So this case is actually for M-ATX, but the board that I had was ITX. So, and that graphics card is so massive that I can't even put anything else in PCIe slots, so whatever.
I'm just trying to figure out how much of this stuff is from the office.
Literally none of it.
Literally none of it? You know that RAM has an inventory sticker on it, right?
Okay, well I bought it from work.
This is a pretty banging rig. 2080 Ti, 16 gigs RAM. What CPU is that in there?
It's a 7700K.
Okay, well at least that would be an upgrade. On the subject of mechanic, I really like your decal that you've got on your rear panel here.
Yeah, so that's actually my old car that some guy like hand drew. He sent me a sticker and I stuck it on the side of my case. That Volta cable, I did not pay for.
Oh, this one?
So I actually saw this trick online. You use the Volta cable and stick the little 1 or 2 gram dongle bit in the mouse, and then assuming that somebody isn't holding it,
well,
it just goes like that. And you just go bloop, and it hooks up, charges the mouse.
what about this chair?
I think I bought that chair from work for $10.
No way.
It was broken on the bottom, all the casters, and then I got a new base for it. And it's like kind of wonky, but it's good enough. It's better than the IKEA chair I had before.
This is actually a pretty sick setup. You've got 2 Acer Predator X34s. So these are 100 hertz. I see you've helpfully put the refresh rate counter up there.
Great.
Yeah, okay. 3440 by 1440 ultra wide monitors. And then I'm guessing these are your old monitors over here.
I actually bought those as side monitors off a guy from Craigslist for really cheap.
So you seem to be kind of set up for streaming, but as far as I know, you don't actually game stream. So are you just like a poser streamer?
I didn't stream for like 8 months. I used to do it quite a bit. And then recently I've done it, you know, once or twice a week, just on the not yet LTT Minecraft server.
So why don't you tell us about your audio setup here, because it seems to be a fair bit better than WANShow.
So overall, it's actually pretty simple. This is the same preamp we use on WANShow. This is where I got the inspiration to buy it. So I have an Audio-Technica AT2035 with a stupid pop filter that's just there to protect it from food when I'm eating, with a Rode PSA 1 boom arm. So that goes right into the preamp, which is preamping our signal, and then it goes over to this little crappy Behringer interface.
Your webcam kind of
It does kind of suck,
sucks. Yeah.
but it's honestly good enough.
You unplug it when you're not using it?
Well, see, the thing with this stupid webcam is this is how long the cable is. It's like 3 feet, but it's conveniently just long enough to plug in right there. So I might as well just unplug it and tuck it behind when I'm not using, right?
Why do you need two 34-inch ultra-wides worth of desktop real estate?
Pretty much just have everything you need access to while you're streaming, while you're gaming, and then have your game on the main screen and don't have to tab out like literally ever.
Pretty sick setup. With that said, I think you might end up giving up some style points here. This stand, this is 3 2x8s. This is pretty bad, Jake.
I mean, okay.
Also, I couldn't help noticing that even if this hardware wasn't stolen from work, it's not really being treated with the proper respect. Down here under the bed, we've got a hard drive.
Those are dead hard drives.
Got another hard drive.
Dead.
And what is this? Do your laundry. Got a PS3.
Those, okay, so that
Got another more different PS3.
one of those PS3s is running Linux.
I bet this IO shield is stolen from the office. I want more monitors too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily more efficient, but it is convenient.
So contender number 2 was sort of a surprise to me because he's more into board games than computer games as far as I knew, but our next setup is actually none other than Tyler's, our warehouse in inventory and logistics manager.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to remember when you step into my home is that at the office, I am the organization and cleanliness guy, and this is my setup.
Wow, okay. So I've seen Tyler working on this kind of stuff at the office. Oh, I think I actually saw you working on this guy.
Yeah, you did.
Tyler actually paints his own figurines. Would figurine be the correct term?
Miniature?
Miniature. I knew there was a proper term that I was missing here. I think he does a spectacular job of them. I'll let you guys be the judge though. Why don't we make our way in towards the computer? So gotta get past the boxes of new miniatures that you still haven't worked on. Oh, some of them have some paint on them though.
They got their white coats on and then they got their green trim. And then I have my collection of various romance books and real human hair that I use for cosplay.
Along with a list of real letters to fictional people that you apparently need to write.
Yeah, so that's a series of short stories that I'm working on.
To the other participants of this Mexican standoff, to the poor bastards on the other side of the blast door, and to the anonymous man giving me constructive criticism.
That's just more painting stuff.
Yeah, with something got on there.
Yeah, it's just all over.
I can only focus when something's this close in front of me.
I think that's how close it's supposed to be when you're working on it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
In terms of general setup here, there's some highlights already and there's some lowlights. We've got a G502 mouse, like it. We've got one of those free mouse pads that they gave away in the early 90s. This is a freaking LG ultra-wide monitor here, 34 inches. You're connected via HDMI, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
He's running at 49 hertz instead of 60 hertz on his ultra-wide because of the bandwidth limitation of the HDMI input on this model. Tyler, this keyboard is quite frankly disgusting.
Needs to be swapped out, yeah. It is,
Or run through the dishwasher, or something, please.
It has been with me for a long time.
Your computer might actually be the cleanest component of this entire rig.
Well, it's the newest.
Oh. What kind of specs are we looking at here?
So it's an i7-8700, GeForce 1080 Ti, 32 gigabytes of RAM,
RGB.
an SSD, and a hard drive.
So did someone at the office put this together for you?
Oh yeah, this was all Ed. I was going to do it on my own because I felt very confident in my abilities, but then as soon as I started putting it together, I realized that it was quite out of my league.
So what inspired you to put together a rig like this?
So first I wanted to play Fallout 76, but then it became quickly apparent that it was a terrible game. So then after that, I wanted to play The Outer Worlds when it comes out, so I'm pretty eager for that. At the moment, mostly I use it for Civilization, which is
This is a pretty overkill.
Yeah, it's a little over the kill for Civ. Although I did see a lot of performance improvement in the later game when normally the processing power starts to lag down just because there's so much stuff on the map. But it's still more of like a machine that I built for gaming in the next 2 to 3 years, as opposed to stuff that's just out right now.
Tyler, do you have a screwdriver?
I think Kristen has one, just let me check.
Okay.
Do we have a screwdriver?
So iFixit told us we had to get rid of all the first gen kits so that they would stop appearing on camera. And Tyler helpfully took one off of our hands for us.
Yeah, I
stealing
jumped right
it.
on that grenade.
I knew I was gonna find something stolen.
It's not stolen if you give it to me.
Did Ed know when he built you this machine that it was going to be subjected to this?
Subjected to what?
I mean, it does sit in a fairly gloriously nerdy place. I'm willing to bet there's a backstory for literally everything in this Nook. What's the backstory for this surprise container?
So this was brought to me from one of my friends who I'm actually in a role-playing podcast with. He went on a trip to Japan and he brought back unique gifts for each of us. I believe it is a little spirit animal.
You don't know what it is.
I thought it was a goat.
The Kindle with the dead battery.
Yeah, it's a Kindle that's not plugged in.
You don't like e-ink?
I love this Kindle. That's a cat toy. Obviously, Mycroft batted it behind my computer station.
17 months ago.
Possibly. I enjoy Coke.
Oh my God.
Oh, the original VHS tapes of Star Wars?
Well,
Or sorry, the last launch of the original
Of the
ones
original
before
ones.
they digitally remastered.
I had this and my parents threw it away when they moved.
Yeah, I found those in a thrift shop for $3.
What? Do they work though?
They do.
And you have a VHS player.
I do not.
This place has a lot of character. But I'll say this, if you're ever doing like a cleanup Saturday or something, call me, I would be happy to help.
Yeah, I'll call you when I need to paint my walls.
First Dennis, now Brandon. Taryn was like, oh, I didn't know you paint walls. I would have had you come paint my walls. It's like, it's not actually a service I offer. So we've had some good ones so far, but Johnno's promises to be the cutest of our setup tours today. Not because Johnno is particularly cute, sorry Johnno, but because he has a new puppy. Oh my goodness, you can pick her up?
Yep. She's 52 pounds of love.
You were almost Chopow.
It was a male dog. I was gonna call it Subway.
From like community, like that.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
So I'm liking the setup here overall. You've got the whiteboard for the organization. You got the DualShock controller over there. Do you actually use that for PC gaming? Is that why it's there?
No, for PS4, I used to have it over here, but I don't play any consoles anymore. So it's all about PC gaming.
Don't suck up.
Why? So basically enough, just let's say for the monitors, I have the PG-270.
Cadence, quit licking my hand.
It's so cute. And before I actually started working here, I actually watched your review on it and I was like, gotta get it.
Now you're definitely getting some marks off for your other monitor because the
Yeah.
viewing angles on that are so bad, I thought you had a privacy filter.
Yeah, so this one is based enough I don't even know how old this is. I think it's probably like 6-7 years ago. But I keep it vertical because every time I do like any spreadsheets, Excel, or when I do my after or before work kind of stock trading, it's all nice and vertical for my charts.
I am liking the desk pad here. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Pretty good, I'm liking it. All right, but we're gonna have to move it out of the way so we can admire the setup here. This is from the office, isn't it?
Yep, and so I got it at a super good price.
How much did you end up paying for this?
200.
Really? For the Lee & Lee desk?
I was actually prepared to pay $500, Tyler.
And you've got a pretty sick rig in here. So that looks like an RTX 2080?
Yeah, 2080 Ti.
2080 Ti.
I was trying to play Anno with you guys one time, and it would just not work. So I had to upgrade.
And then what are we looking at for CPU here?
So that's 8700K, not overclocked because I just don't feel like bothering with that. So right now I have the H150i from Corsair, but I did change the fans from the stock ones to the ML120s, just because of RGB, and I like the feature tech of maglev. I got them on sale. It was like, I think I was on Newegg for like $40 for 3.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I am eventually enough, maybe in 2-3 months, doing a full custom water cooling on it.
That's the sound of a quality water bottle dropping on the floor.
It's super good.
LTTstore.com.
Yeah.
Why do you need it so quiet?
I don't know, I just want to do custom water cooling.
You're one of the only ones that has paid much attention to their sound setup, though.
I had to do that because my old Logic.
LTTstore.com. But your gaming rig is only part of your overall computer setup, is that right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So this is sort of the media and entertainment hub. Now, are you unironically using an Xbox One Kinect? If I find any dance games over here, Johnno.
I don't think so.
So even this one looks like a pretty banging machine here. So you got an NHD 15 in here, Z370, so this is probably what, like a 7700K or?
That's a 8600K.
An 8600K, and then you've got a 1080 Ti in here.
Yeah.
This is your secondary machine?
It's for the wife. We originally built this for Fallout 76, but we all know how that turned out.
That's the second time we've heard that today.
Yeah.
You played Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
and then didn't touch it again.
I haven't finished it yet.
You haven't finished Breath of the Wild?
It's just, it got so good, I didn't want it to end.
Now why do you have two PS4s?
Oh, because Jillian and I could play like Destiny and multiplayer games like Watchdog as well. But I got those at a pawn shop.
So basically these are stolen goods.
I have no idea.
Sounds pretty stolen to me. Now I did find one thing that was a bit of a cause for concern. Johnno, do you have something to tell us?
So I travel at least once a year.
Okay, the first step is admitting that you have a problem.
Oh, okay, that, yeah.
So welcome to the rose ceremony, everyone, except instead of roses, we will be awarding a Maximus 11 Hero gaming motherboard and a Core i9-9900K. This is basically the pinnacle when it comes to gaming, and when paired with the right hardware, it'll basically run anything under the sun at frame rates that will pretty much boggle your mind. And it can be yours if the judges, that's me, select your setup as the famiest. There were some pros and cons to each of your setups. Jake, yours stood out as by far the geekiest. And I mean that in like a very functional sense. Nobody else would have thought to strip down the housing of their webcam to make it so that it'll fit in between the bezels of their vertically stacked ultra-wide monitors. Massive credit for that. What held your setup back was, quite frankly, the fact that I had to touch one of your socks. That was the most disgusting experience I had today.
You went under my bed.
That was the most disgusting experience I had today, and I touched Tyler's keyboard.
I think it was a clean sock too.
Was it? Tyler, the vibe I got from your space was that you were more than just about, computers and gaming. Your nerdy, fringe, unusual hobbies stretch far beyond just, tech. I kind of feel like, that club in high school with like 2 or 3 members. I feel like you were in that club, and then you were in the other club that was like that club. And
I was probably leading both of those clubs.
with that said, you lost some serious brownie points for how brown my hands were after I touched anything in your setup. Dude, it was disgusting.
That's fair.
Johnno, you had the slickest setup. So you've got the desk PC going, you've got the whiteboard next to it. All your controllers and consoles have a place. You've got somewhere to actually keep all of your games and stuff. I felt like you were a little too focused on the dog. You actually lost points for Cadence being a distraction.
But he's so cute.
Exactly. Honestly, when it came time to determine a winner, it was really, really difficult because what it ultimately had to come down to was who needed it the most. The one thing that one of you needed more than anyone else was incentive. Tyler, you're taking home a Core i9-9900K and matching motherboard. Come claim your prize, but stop. Until such time as you take me up on my very generous offer to come and help you clean up your space. When I come over and we take on that place and it is cleaned to my satisfaction, I will hand you your award. Guys, stay tuned on Twitter because it's happening soon, right?
Yep, this is really a prize for my fiance.
She actually kind of needs it more than you. I can't talk about what she was working on, but like, it was really cool. It's NDA, but it's like, but what's not NDA'd is Intel.com/gaming. It's a great place to find out which Intel desktop processor is best for you, find products that have the power that you're looking for, and get tips on building, overclocking, modding, and more. If it's a gaming rig you're after, but you're just getting started, Intel's pre-built versus custom PC article can help you decide the best path to start enjoying those delicious frames. So guys, thanks for watching. Massive thank you to Intel for sponsoring this video and providing this fantastic prize, also Asus for the accompanying motherboard. If you guys feel like I got it wrong though, leave a comment and tell me whose epic setup you think should have won. Maybe there will be a runner-up prize.